Hi, this is Tom Schulte. I am CEO of Recalibrate Professional Development. And welcome to the Recalibrate Certified Signature Trainer webinar training for the Leadership PowerLabs. This is designed for both independent trainers and for in-house corporate trainers. Now, unfortunately, this is available only for US-based organizations simply because the shipping prices on these decks of cards are cost prohibitive. So again, apologize for that if you're outside of the United States. Now, today's training agenda will go over concepts, content, and basic psychology of the Leadership PowerLabs, understanding the benefits for everyone involved, the PowerPoint presentation and participant handout, different ways to use this powerful content in your practice, and specifically for independent trainers, we're going to go over the marketing language and messaging to attract and sell your past, present, or potential clients, and the sales and lead generation strategies for this and your existing offerings. Today we're going to be spending about 40% on the PowerLab PowerPoint presentation, about 15% on the concepts and psychology, about 30% on the facilitator coaching, about 10% on sales and marketing, and about 5% on optional uses. But first, some quick housekeeping. Certification details include participate in a webinar-based training program, either live or recorded, exclusively use recalibration kits. These are decks of Recalibrate values cards and the signature showcase. And please note, recalibration kits are consumable professional training instruments, and they do stay with participants. The fees and costs include the first year certification is $300. It comes with 12 recalibration kits and the resources we're going to be showing you. Annual recertification fee is $125, or it's free if prior year's purchase of 150 kits. The recalibration kits cost $25, and volume discounts are available. Here is the pricing volume discounts. Please note that most shipping is free, and this pricing is available online to view there. The Leadership PowerLabs come with the standard Recalibrate logo cards. However, if you're an independent trainer and you'd like your logo, those are available. Or if you're an in-house corporate trainer, you can get your logo on there as well. These custom logos do take a minimum purchase of 500 kits. Now do note that these are the highest quality poker-style playing cards. They have got excellent hand feel. People tell me way too many times how great the cards feel, which is great. Each deck has 53 custom values cards, plus one blank card. They all have Spanish and French on them, if this will help. And they have the easy-to-understand definition on each one of the cards. Now we're going over the training resources that are available to you. You get the PowerPoint presentation, the facilitator training script, the written instructions, the participant handout, the signature showcase, which is a 7-pocket clear vinyl sleeve. It holds 6 of the top values, plus it's got the participant's logo, which goes there. It's got the participant's name, which goes in the center. It's got the trainer's logo, and it's got the trainer's web address. We also provide you with a customized nameplate header template with the trainer's logo and the web address. Trainers simply put in the participant's logo and the participant's name, and then print them on a perforated paper stock that we provide. You can get 6 nameplates per sheet. Print it out, pop them out, and load them into the nameplate header on the signature showcase. We also have a community forum, which is the private PowerLab collaboration portal. This is for sharing tips and tricks. We also provide trainer support. It's free phone consultation. Just give us a call. We will help you out. Available for your website is the Recalibrate Certified Signature Trainer Badge in a couple of formats. And as an extra, you may want to look into purchasing a custom values card placard. These are 3 feet by 2 feet, excuse me, signage made of Corplast, so they're durable and they're waterproof, and they're printed on 2 sides. As an incentive, we have a $70 coupon for the purchase of your first 12 kits or more. Now moving along, let's put some things into context. Talking about the Leadership PowerLabs. These are short format, high impact training for duration up to 4 hours. Suggested price for independent trainers is $100 to $300 per person. Training format for me, I love the round tables with up to 8 people per table. Second best for me is the U-shape. Now the number of participants is unlimited. It may be a handful of people, or I love doing them 30, 40, 80, 100 people. It's just more fun. Now look at the very tippy top of this screen. This is identical content, meaning the Leadership Lunch and Learn along with the Leadership PowerLab. Pretty much the only difference is the duration and the interactivity between the participants. So if you are going into a lunch and learn and you've got a very short amount of time, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, up to 2 hours, someone in there, you take the exact content and do it the exact same way, but certainly understanding that you're not going to be able to get quite as in-depth. Now for independent trainers, suggested price is $25 to $50 per person. Again, same with the round tables preferred, 8 people per table if you can. And U-shape is second best. And participants, try to keep them down because you're competing with perhaps other content and some hungry people. Now, as we go along, there's going to be webinar notes available at the end. This is a document in PDF that has everything with a yellow star on that document. It's, I think, about a 4 or 5 page document that includes part of this training. This training has got some of these pages that have quite a lot of words on it, and it's kind of difficult to view. So don't really have to pay too much attention to any of these pages that have the yellow star. Just use your ears and listen, and then go back and read the webinar notes. Now, in the Leadership PowerLab concepts, after the training, the leaders will know the following: the exact steps to increase their personal leadership effectiveness, how to get followers to happily contribute more, how to engage all people better, how to respect and appreciate people more, the importance of active empathy, know themselves at a far deeper level, how to lead themselves more effectively. They'll know how to be more transparent and vulnerable while still feeling safe. They're going to know how to logically talk about values, feelings, relationships, and other squishy stuff still in a logical format. Now for you, as we move along, understand that the facilitator's job is not to provide training content and an experience. You don't just show up with your stuff, have some fun, and hope it works. What your job is to positively impact personal and professional growth. That's your job. I've got to help you with this. My job for both independent and in-house facilitators is, first of all, in your workshops. I'm to equip you successfully in immediately grabbing and keeping attention and interest, to get 100% participation and engagement, to open participants' heads and hearts, to significantly increase group interaction, to prime people for your upcoming content, if that's the way you're going to be handling this, and to help you add value sorting to your content so that you increase ROI for your internal or paying clients. Now, for the independent facilitators in the sales and marketing realm, my job is to equip you to successfully show you how to use the PowerLabs content for lead generation, show you how to demo in a sales call, and help you understand how to market content as a fast, fun, engaging, and memorable experience so that you get referrals for future business. Now on to the major benefits. These would be, it's a short format, fast-paced, fun, fully engaging, guaranteed participation, interactive and introspective, profoundly impactful, memorable, high retention rates of this content and any other associated content, and it's a low-cost offering. Some of the more particular benefits for facilitators include fresh new content that can be used as a standalone offering or as part of a new hybrid offering, or as a lead gen tool for new and existing clients. For participants, it's a highly introspective aha experience that equips them to significantly be better leaders. And for the paying clients, it's a learning lesson experience that participants will remember and they can enact immediately. Now, drilling down, for the benefits for facilitators, they can offer internal or paying clients a high-powered, high-impact, short-format, and low-cost leadership training experience that fits various timeframes and budgets. They leverage the PowerLabs experience to complement their existing content or services to their clients. They use the value sorting exercise without or with the Recalibrate PowerLabs or Lunch and Learn format. There's no restrictions on how you use the cards. Use the value sorting exercise for sales calls that leave a lasting impression. Now, the benefits for the participants are many. These are both in the workshop and after the workshop. During the workshop, they get immediately engaged and never let go because the content is on every person's favorite subject, themselves. They're guided through a carefully designed, multi-step sorting and prioritization process of their personal values to determine what are the most important things in their personal lives. They experience a highly emotional exercise that has them making decisions at a relatively rapid rate that combines using their heads, hearts, souls, and guts to get them down to their top 6 values. And this is fun to watch. They interact with each other in a fun, open, curious, and non-judgmental way. The group dynamic reaches equilibrium as everyone feels energized in a friendly way. It's awesome when you see shy people speak up, dominant people quiet down, and everyone in the exact same zone. Also, during the workshop, for the participants, for the longer PowerLabs, both group discussions and the one-on-one breakout discussions take a transformative experience to a much more meaningful level. Participants get those 7-pocket signature showcases to display their top 6 values. They learn how to respect their own values, but what truly opens their eyes and hearts is to learn how to honor and respect the values of others. And the truly magical moment occurs when the full understanding of how using the benefits of empathy, that's right, leaders, I said empathy, as a primary leadership skill can impact the leader's bottom line. They're going to know the values chain concept of values drive decisions, decisions drive behaviors, and behaviors drive results. They'll see how this becomes a real way to see personal values in terms of a leadership strength. They'll leave the session energized, empowered, and oftentimes blown away. Many will even stay after the session to come talk to you and thank you and ask if you've got more available content. This is a wonderful thing to see. After the workshop, participants have the blueprints in their heads and the exact steps to take to raise their level of personal leadership effectiveness. They'll often show these signature showcases to others and explain what they just went through. Many will even clutch these showcases in their arms next to their hearts while leaving the workshop. It is the oddest thing to see people hugging a training instrument walking out of a class, but it happens. Many will display their showcases in the office, pinned to their cubicle, or even display them in the break room. Unlike formal assessments, which I do love, by the way, this value sorting results stay on top of mind because they're tactile, meaning they've got that great card feeling. They had to move and separate very emotional things with their very own hand, and they were in control of that. They put the remaining ones in their signature showcase, and it just becomes very, very personal. Many will take these decks of cards and their showcase home and do the exercise with family, friends, and spouses. Many will encourage the exercise to be done with their whole department at work or even the whole organization. Now, for the paying clients, and these are also for internal corporate training environments, the clients who attend the workshop, they have both the powerful personal experience of it, and they also get to be impressed by seeing what happens to others in real time. Now, for clients who don't attend the workshop, they're certainly going to get that favorable feedback from the people who did show up, and they're going to be able to see those showcases and the cards as well. Now, the clients who see the showcases, they see the facilitator's logo on each nameplate header, as well as the facilitator's website. This is a great advertising thing for the facilitator if you're independent, and it can become a reminder of who the actual provider was. Some people forget. They'll come on over, they'll see your website, they'll contact you. For the paying clients, the clients have a great reason to seek out other things that you might be offering. And the ROI is very strong because the workshop content is so powerful, it's remembered, and it's simple, and it's virtually cost-free to implement. What they learned, they walk out and they're able to do it because they have that blueprint. And it's very, very affordable for most budgets. Now, for both the independent trainers and the in-house trainers, here's some sales tips on how to get this within the organization. First of all, we're going to be going through the Leadership Lunch and Learn. The way you sell this is that it's a short format workshop that's flexible on duration. The content is also flexible to fit with their particular meeting. And again, these can be done either before or after the meal. It's fast, fun, interactive, introspective, and memorable. People do like hearing this. Tell them that it's built for the smartphone attention span. This is awesome. People will laugh and they'll know exactly what you're talking about. Tell them it can work with any topic at hand. Participants leave with the values cards and the showcase. The content is engaging and the luncheon will be a success. Everyone will participate and thoroughly enjoy it. Everyone will be talking about it when they leave. Everyone will remember this luncheon and any other associated content, and offer them a money-back guarantee that everyone will know the exact steps to take. I do this and I've never paid a dime back simply because everyone does understand the exact steps to take. Now on to these sales tips for the PowerLab, which are pretty much identical to the Lunch and Learn selling tips, but a few differences here. For the standalone Leadership PowerLab, try looking for opportunities for breakout sessions with event planners or meeting coordinators. These people might have the ability to know upcoming keynote speeches who are actually looking for vendors or providers of shorter format content, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 55 minutes, something like that. You can market this as both a hands-on workshop with a flexible duration to meet their needs, or as part of maybe if you have a one-day or multiple-day engagement. Of course, sell it as a fast, fun, fully engaging event that involves 100% of the people and 100% of their participation and attention. Again, offer that money-back guarantee. Stress that the participants will be able to enact that powerful content the moment that they leave the room. Certainly show the signature showcase with the customized nameplate, the client logo, and 6 random cards if that's the way you want to present it. Or even better, if you can do the value sorting experience with the client and a few of their associates, this is the easiest way for them to latch on. And when they do latch on and they leave with this, or you leave, and they've got the signature showcase and a deck of cards in their hand, your website logo, and your website address, that's a pretty big calling card for them to remember you. Now we're about to jump into the Leadership PowerLab facilitator, PowerPoint, but before we get there, we need to go over some facilitator presentation notes. These are really important. The Leadership PowerLab PowerPoint uses a lot of slide animation. So if you go to look at any one of the particular pages, they may look like this in the normal mode. It's kind of a mumbo-jumbo looking picture. Difficult to understand what's going on here. So what we've done is we've come up with a facilitator training script. And this comes from the notes page. So look at the notes page here. Each one of the pages in the PowerPoint, when you look at it in the notes view, will have a purpose statement. So you'll know exactly why this slide is here. And it's got an impact statement so that you know what the intended impact for each one of these slides are. As you're going through it, you'll be able to see the script in a different font and a different color. And when you're reading this, you hit click by click with the animation indicator until you're done. Then you hit the next slide indicator. So again, watch this in the slideshow mode. And again, there's our mumbo jumbo screen that's looking like a normal screen. And then when you have your training script, which is shown over on the left, and you have up on your screen the slideshow mode, you simply walk through this, reading your script, training yourself, click by click, and then on to the next slide. It's a great way to learn exactly how to do this PowerPoint and the cards sorting exercise. Now I showed you that, that notes page. Here's that notes page again with the entire bottom ripped off. When we go through this upcoming PowerLab presentation, I am not going to go in a click-by-click fashion. Number one, it would take forever, and number two, you've got the facilitator's training guide to train yourself. So again, it's going to be abbreviated. I'm going to be kind of giving you a facilitator sidebar presentation. It's going to be, I'm going to be next to you, kind of pointing at the screen, giving you the overall feel and the intention of what's going on. Now, some very, very, very important psychology awareness. This is almost a warning and a heads up. These are marketed as the Leadership PowerLab content is designed to be fast, fun, and easy breezy. This is for several very important reasons. You'll see the cartoon character on the left. This is Tommy Trainer. He's a fun, cartoony guy. We do this for a variety of reasons. Because number one, this is a deeply emotional workshop that uncovers things in people's past. Some of this stuff is really, really deep. There can be a significant emotional aroused internally. Some of this is seen and some of it is not seen. Some of it comes up in the form of questions or their body demeanor, and some goes to the extreme. I've had people burst out in crying where we've had to stop the workshop simply because, you know, in this case, it was a mother who had picked family as her number one value. And she was able to tell how she went on a 3-year software implementation for enterprise software, and it just kept her away from her family, and she just felt horrible. People are going to be opened up in these workshops in a way that many of them never ever have before. Some people may be very uncomfortable with that internally, and they probably never have done such in a public place. Things like regret, fear, bad memories, triggers, turmoil, indecision, etc. can be difficult for very some. Again, you have no idea some of the things that people have suffered and some of the decisions that they've made in the past or about to make or going into the future. You just kind of don't know where they are. And I say there's probably 6 layers of internal psychology that are going on. You'll never know what's taking place. So we use this easy breezy, let's go get along, let's do this with a fun, cartoony almost environment. And this is to keep both the facilitators and any interactivity or any personal people from stepping on potential landmines that we may be going through as we progress. Now, understand that we're about to go through the Leadership PowerLab PowerPoint, that this training is optional. So use it if you want to. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. But I recommend using it. Okay, so here we go. Let's jump right into the Leadership PowerLab PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so when people walk into the room, they see this. It is bold, it is powerful, the colors, the font, etc. People are going to be able to see that it is a core value sorting exercise. What they will not know is that they are going to be going through an empathy training session. Think about it. Who would sign up for empathy training if they're a strong leader? None of them. But they will sign up for something called a PowerLab because it's going to be able to make them much more powerful, and you guarantee it. Okay, here's the very first slide you see, or they see, and it's going to be the very last slide that they see. Essentially, you're going to be saying that the leader is this fine watch who's responsible for things on the outside for the results. You've got to know what time of day it is. And when you look inside the watch, you can see the team members that are actually getting those results. Looking at the watch components, they're the workers, if you will. They come in different sizes, different shapes, different colors, different functionalities. Perhaps if one of the components get bent or broken, can you mend it or must you replace it? All these types of things that leaders have got to deal with. But essentially the crux of the entire empathy training is how to get bottom line results through better working relationships. We're going to go over and tell them the fact that the leadership pie is very large, a lot of topics, but we're only going to be covering the part of dealing with people. And as Teddy Roosevelt says, the formula for success is knowing how to get along with people. At this point, I'll have them break out their handout, the very first page. And again, these are the very large font, very little to look at, very, again, almost colorful or cartoony, again, for a psychological point of view, just to keep it light as we go through this, because they have no idea what is about to come. So on this first page, I will have people close their eyes for 20 or 30 seconds, think about one or more of the greatest leaders in your life, and write the person's name down and tell us why in a few words. Now, what this is designed to do is to get people outside of self, and as for a point that they can move toward as a great leader, and they've kind of got an image in their mind. I bring this out in the beginning and don't mention it again till the end. Now I talk about this guy, the leader who's got the blinders on. They go through life seeing things only one way. Let's read this eye chart, class, and this gets the class interactive right away. It says, I only see what I want to see and don't care about what other people care about because I'm too busy trying to get the results the way I want to. Now, when you go through this in the facilitator training mode in the click-by-click section, you're going to see some great other things to add. But essentially, when you walk around with blinders, you may be seeing the world like this, the way other people see things. So I say, hey, ask yourself, how clearly do you see what others see? And a lot of people, don't. A lot of people will say, I don't wear blinders. I see things perfectly clear. I'm open. I'm flexible. I'm a nice person. I'm a great boss. But you have to ask themselves, how do you see what others see? And can you understand their point of view? But why does that even matter to me? We'll say, here's why. It's because understanding people is the key to leading them. Again, when you click through the script by script, click by click, you'll get some more details. Now here is our mumbo jumbo screen, if you remember, and I'm going through this kind of in a click by click way. So we're going to be equipping you to be a better leader by giving you a new tool for your leadership toolkit. We're going to start by providing you with a clear vision to show you how other people see things. And we're going to be doing it by building something called Leadership Super Goggles. These are virtual goggles that you put on. You can see the way you see things, yet you can also see the way other people see things. So essentially getting your blinders off and opening up your vision. And we're going to be doing through this something called the Recalibrate card experience. You're going to be sorting through a deck of cards to understand your own values, so that you can increase your personal leadership effectiveness. You're going to understand your values and your motivators, what others' value systems are and their motivators, and how to get better results through values-based relationships. You will learn how to earn influence with others, learn to be more effective through others, learn to get discretionary effort from others. Again, this is stuff that you cannot purchase, and you learn how to build and maintain a better team. This is the values chain, calling values drive decisions, decisions drive behaviors, and behaviors drive results. Essentially, if you backtrack it, the behavior's not giving you the result. The leader may say, we're not getting the bottom line, we're not hitting our numbers. What are you doing? You can back it up from there. Not only what are you doing, but what are you thinking about? How are you coming up with these decisions? Work it even back further. Is this even important to you? Okay, so this is the crux of the values chains, how there's a definite traceable line to how individual values reach let's say, team or corporate results. So, moving along, what values are driving your results? This is where it begins to get personal for the attendees, and we grab their attention. You ask them what's most important to you. Here is a values description, and then I simply say values are, it's easy, what you think is most important to you. Now here's where I begin to simplify it and start making it easy breezy. So again, we're going to take these cards and see what's most important to you. You're going to be determining your top values. Now keep in mind, this is not a test. Be relaxed. This is really fun. Did I mention it's not a test? Keep an open mind. Any answer is okay. We're just looking you to provide your gut feeling. So, at this point, facilitators go ahead and hand out the decks of cards. People will be intrigued as to what's actually going on. Say, get your deck of cards, take them out of the box, and please do not shuffle. You tell them don't shuffle because you want them to find their blank card and put it back in the box, telling them that they probably won't be using it. Now, when they're looking at these cards, what is the context? How do I view this in a sorting exercise? Well, say, look, we are looking for your gut feeling, and here's how you get your gut feeling. Just be one person. Now, that one person needs to wear all those hats that you wear in your life. Your work hat, your home hat, your leisure hat, your spiritual hat, any other hats that you may be wearing, because we want you to look at this through just one set of eyes, because we want decisions based on the complete you. Understand that human beings are complex creatures, so consider your whole life, consider every hat you wear, and consider what the complete you values. Now, take a look at these cards. For instance, you have the teamwork card and the equipping others cards. You're going to have to decide, what does this word mean to me? And again, you get to decide. You've got the values on each one of the cards and the suggested definition. Now, when it comes to that suggested definition, don't worry, don't fret. You get to decide what it means. And as we go through this exercise, you're going to have fewer cards. Those definitions may need to migrate, change completely, or whatever you want. You're in charge, you are in control, so you decide. So, are you ready to go? And again, facilitators, this is going to have to do with how much space, physical space they have before them. So you can just say, if you're ready to go, then please clean a small workspace in front of you. It doesn't take a lot of space. To get the space open and you say, okay, you've got a deck of cards. As you sort through it, you look at a card and you're going to put them in one of two stacks, stack A or stack B. Stack A is the stack where you say, I value this the most. And stack B is, I don't value this the most, or not so much. Okay, so A stack is I value this the most, and B stack is stuff that didn't make your final cut. That's very important as you're going through these cards, ladies and gentlemen, that you understand not to count them 50-50 or anything. You can have as many in your A stack as you want, or as many as your B stack as you want. All right, you decide. You're the one in charge. Everybody make sense? All right, so if you're ready to go, A stack, B stack, ready, set, go. Now, facilitators, I put the stopwatch up in there just to keep it the exercise kind of tidy. This is certainly important in the Leadership Lunch and Learn when your time is very much abbreviated. You can give them, 2-3 minutes, depending on your schedule and the crowd. Engineering types, analytical types tend to take longer in this, can slow the whole process down. People like salespeople tend to go much quicker. They can kind of breeze through these. It's just the nature of the animal. I just throw this up to hurry people along. And again, on the larger formats, on the Leadership PowerLabs, you can give them, 4 or 5 minutes, whatever you're comfortable with. Just look around and try to make sure people are on the same pace. If you're taking too long, you're going to get the people that finish quickly. They're going to be bored, and you don't want that. So, okay, class, how did we do? And here's an area where you can have some fun, or you don't have to do this at all. For instance, in a Lunch and Learn, you may not want to go to, hey, did you have more in your A stack or more in your B stack? And for those skilled facilitators who want to take this into a variety of places, it's fun. You could have them go around their table, tell you why, just a variety of things. And when you see the facilitator's training guide or script here, there's a lot more details on what you might be able to do at this point. So you say, okay, if you feel comfortable about your A stack and your B stack, well, go ahead and take your B stack and put them back in your box. Okay, your B stack are back in your box. Keep its space in front of you open, and you're going to pick up your A stack. Now, facilitators know that most of the people think they're going to do another A stack, B stack, and you want them to think of that, and you don't tell them otherwise. You say, okay, if you're ready to go, take your A stack, look at the screen, because I want to see your top 6 values. That's right, you get only 6. Ready, go. Now, also in this, you may be able to say, hey, if you need a yes, no, maybe, that's fine, or just get down to your top 6. Do whatever you need to do, but only 6. You will hear people gasping at this point. They're like, oh no, this is stressful. So once everyone gets their top 6 done, you can say, okay, class, if you've got your top 6, please turn them over. Make sure everyone at the table can see it. Again, this is in this going back to the psychology places and the landmines you need to watch out for. You will have people putting their cards face down. Okay, that's an indicator that they don't want anyone to see. And when you ask them to turn it over, it could be quite internally traumatic for these people. They feeling very exposed, very vulnerable. Some people will cheerfully turn them over. It's a variety of things, but you want everyone on that same page. So you have them turn them over and say, your definitions might have had to change. Okay, when you got it from your large number down to your smaller number. Now, again, facilitators, so that you know, when it came to their first A stack, B stack division go around, about 30 to 31% of the 30 to 31 cards of the 53 cards end up in their A stack. And it's just awesome to see that most people think that they value these the most, when in fact, you get them down to their top 6, they're able to understand, well, maybe not the most. Okay, when we go ahead and decide what these cards mean, take a look at this word on the screen. It says achievement. Okay, it's got your standardized dictionary type definition. Well, imagine if Robert did not get his bachelor's degree until age 36, but the rest of his family siblings got them in their early 20s, that he may feel something like, achievement means proving to my family that I can finish what I started. Okay, these may be deeply personal meaning. So when you write these down on your piece of paper in your handout, you can write anything that you want. Okay, so get your handouts out and write your top 6 values over on the left column, and then your definitions on the right. Now, when you write your definitions, just use a couple of words, nothing too lengthy, and if it's similar enough to the dictionary type definition, you can just write the word same. The facilitator's note, this can be extended when some people start writing down, so you have to encourage them to make it brief. Now, once they get these down and they feel comfortable that, okay, these are my values, these are my definitions, you can say, okay, take a look at the screen. These are someone's top 6 values. These may or may not be yours, but these are just, let's just say they're comfortable, they're good, and this is just a kind of an icon to determine like what's before you. Say, okay, these are my top 6. Well, at this point, again, and on this particular screen, on the facilitator's training guide, this has got the longest amount of notes on it, because this is where you can take the Leadership PowerLab content to an extremely impactful point. You could have, for instance, exercises where you say, okay, go around your table, or at your table, who's got 2 or more values that match? Raise your hand. Okay, and that could be done in the aggregate with the whole room. You could break it down to what each table does with this. You can have people break out, okay, take a person nearby and go out into the hall and talk about your top 6 values. Bring your definitions with you. You can have them, okay, after you've done your table, get up and walk around the room. Take your definitions with you. Any one of these things gets to show people that although they have their top values, every single other person in the room also has their top values, and none of them are even remotely the same, nor are their definitions even remotely the same. The consequence in thinking like this is, wow, everyone's different. It's fun at this point. Okay, so you get them back to their area, back into their chairs if you've gotten them around, and say, go back to your comfortable place where you can see your comfortable values in front of you. And let's just go on a little journey here. This is a fictitious journey. Let's say I am your boss on this journey. And guess what my top 6 values are? Let's say you don't like them. And as you look at the screen, let's just say they're bad or toxic to you. You just don't get along with these. Okay, so that's the scenario. You have yours, I have mine. And we're going to go on a road trip. And guess what? I'm driving, and you're in the passenger seat. And it's 6 hours, and I'm the boss, and I talk the whole time. So look at the driver's seat up here. I'm talking about my values. What are my values? Look to the bottom of the screen. These are stuff that you don't care for. Let's call this road trip A. Let's look at this road trip. We've got to get to the clients. Okay, it's 6 hours away, and I'm destination focused, and I'm talking blah, 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 right out of my mouth. You don't care for this. Right? You've got to go around. You've got to go with me, because I'm the boss, and I'm really, really results focused, and the journey for you is kind of terrible. In analyzing this, do we make it to the destination? Yes, we do. Do you have to listen to me? Yes, you do. Do you enjoy the journey? Probably not. Do you want to repeat this journey? Heck no. Hey, do you want to go to dinner? No. Okay, let's not do road trip A. Let's try something else. A road trip B, a recalibrated road trip. Okay, everything's identical except for one thing. It's 6 hours. I'm driving. I'm in control. I'm the boss. You don't get to talk. But one thing I do is that recalibrated leadership behavior is I honor your values. All that means is I understand that there's someone else in the car on road trip B. So look what the driver's talking about. Me, I'm talking about your values for 6 long hours. And the passenger's thinking, wow, not so bad. Let's analyze this real quick. 6-hour trip, got to get to the client. I'm talking about 6 of your very favorite topics because the journey is on my mind. I understand that there is a process involved on this journey, and I'm just being polite. I either care about you or seem to care about you. Doesn't matter. As far as you're concerned, I'm a nice guy. Let's analyze this one. Did we make it to the destination? Yes. Did you have to listen to me? Yep. Did you enjoy the journey? Yes, sirree. Do you want to repeat this journey? Sure. Great topics. And let's go to dinner. Well, the conclusion here is that it probably makes more sense to take people on road trip B, correct? And facilitators, please do note that everyone will agree. Now, you give them this brief little odd journey, and then you just forget about it. You say, okay, let's move back on to the card sorting exercise because we want to talk to you about your values and what you value the most. So you have your top 6 in front of you, correct? Well, slide 3 away. I want to see your top 3. That's right, only 3. Now do not put your other 3 back in the box. Just slide them over to the side. Now you can ask them at this point, was it easier or was it more difficult going from 6 down to 3? Did the definitions change, etc., etc.? They get down to their top 3. Again, if you have more time, please have people talk about this at their tables. After that, you can say, all right, the very last step, I want you to go from your top 3 down to your top 2. And again, keep them all out. Do not put them back in the box. I just want to see your top 2 values. And when you get them down to their top 2 values, again, you can say things, was it easier, was it more difficult, etc. You say, okay, I want to talk to you about your top values, and this can be your top 2, top 3, top 6, whatever. Just go ahead and put them back together, put them all out before you. Because I'm going to, again, talk to you about your top values. Let's just say you're at work, and the boss comes to you and asks you to do something. And just upon hearing the request or the demand, you realize that you would have to compromise your top values. You would be violating your value structure. Okay, again, facilitator note here. These are the cartoony parts that I put it up here. And again, colorful, cartoony formats, because where we're about to go, you need to kind of preface this with something that's non-threatening. Keep in mind that their boss actually may be sitting right next to them or in the room during these workshops. So you're going to have to understand there could be tension taking place. So again, hence the colorful, cartoony stuff. So how would you feel? What would you do? And describe the leadership abilities of this person. You say, okay, think about this. Go ahead and open up your handbook, your handout, and write in here, how would you feel? What would you do? And describe this leader's ability. And then after you give the participants time to do this, you say, okay, raise your hand. Now, people have thought about this. They've internalized it. And again, their boss may be in the room right next to them. And so you say, you get them to talk. And generally what comes out of this is answers like this. You say, class, things like disappointment, anger, upset. That's how they feel. What would you do? and this is key, you get people to say, oh, I'd talk to them. I'd have to say something. I'd try to work it out. And then you say, well, how would you describe their leadership abilities? And certainly they'd say, nah, not good. Or it certainly needs some work. You say, okay, now that you've written that down and we've talked about it, I want you to understand that we're going to take this up a notch. We're going to take this up a really big notch. Say, for instance, you're at your work environment and you did all those things that you said you were going to do, but it happened again. You were asked again or told again, and you were at a place where it keeps happening multiple times. Now, how would you feel? What would you do? And describe the leader's abilities. Now at this point, you see the body language. You'll see people leaning back in their chairs, nodding their heads slowly, crossing their arms, thinking, you'll get answers like very angry, hopeless, dejected, finished. What would you do? I'd go through all my options. Many people say, I just could not work in an environment that would have me do this. Now, the reason people are saying these things is because they just went through that head, heart, soul, gut, very difficult decision-making about their top personal values. If they talked about it to other people, for instance, they went outside with a partner, and they're able to talk about, this achievement, I got it from my grandmother when I was very, very young, and it means so much to me. Well, you want people with these heightened emotions about their values answering these questions. You get down to the last one. Describe the leadership abilities of this person. Terrible, no skills. This is a great place to camp out and just talk about how people would feel and what would they do. Once you get to that point and people are pretty much satisfied and get out their feelings and they're able to talk about this, you switch it and you tell them, hey, we're going to be taking a turn here. We're going to be looking at you, or you're going to be looking at yourself. What do your leadership behaviors look like to other people? So who are you as a leader? We're going to do this by taking a look into what we call the leadership looking glass. You're going to take a gaze and see your leadership behaviors and see what other people see in you. Now, facilitators, please note, people get squirmy here. They get silent. You'll hear people taking that big swallow because they're thinking, uh-oh. Now you say, you're going to take a look into this leadership looking glass with one simple question. And that question is this: as a leader, have you ever asked any follower to do anything that would have them violate their values? So don't answer the question, just think about it. So I'm going to give you about 20 or 30 seconds. As a leader, have you ever asked any follower to do anything that would have them violate their values? Now, facilitators, the reason you're asking this is because you want people to either immediately or come to the point where they conclude like, yeah, I've done that. I've probably had to have done that. I simply didn't know their values. Some people come up with this immediately. Some people take a while. Some people will fold their arms and hate you and never speak to you for the rest of this class. I've even had people, when they finally came around, come to me and apologize a couple years later, simply because they didn't want to answer this question honestly. They came to terms with themselves. They were actually mad at themselves, blamed it on me, but it worked out. And then I tell people, as they're thinking about this, I go, remember, I said violate their values, not your values. What I'm going to be getting at here is those leaders who wear those blinders on the sides of their heads. They can't see how other people see their values. So again, I say, well, okay, if you think you've done this, how many followers have you done this to? And how many times? Well, again, the smart ones in the class or the more seasoned ones come up and say, you know what, probably all of my followers and probably every day, simply because I didn't have that data. And that's what it comes down to, is data. So I say, okay, if so, how do you think they felt when you asked them to do something? Remember kind of how you felt? How do you think they felt about you as a leader? How did they react? Did they actually come to you to discuss? Meaning, could you ever see yourself walking out of a meeting and saying, "Hey, boss, great meeting. I like the new project. The 3 assignments you gave me, of course, I can't do 2 of them because they would have me violate my top values." Let's just say no, you've never done that, and you probably never would do that because you have other concerns like keeping your job, something like that. You simply go away, you feel dejected. And by the way, turn back to your workbook. How would you feel and what would you do if it happened just once? And then remember what you said, if it kept happening, it kept happening. Well, guess what? If you don't know people's values, their personal values, the things that they're wearing all those hats, the exercise that you just went through, if you don't have that data, think how they might feel. Think what they said they might do. Did they actually do it? And how do you think they felt about you? This is very difficult for a lot of people because looking into that leadership looking glass, we can see that maybe we might be that leader. Unbeknownst to us, we have blinders on. And we're really destination focused. We've got to hit the numbers. We've got to meet the project goals. We've got to get to the destination with very little insight as to what that might seem like to the passengers, the people that we lead who are going on this journey with us. We might be the type that's just blah, blah, blah. They're not listening. They stopped listening a long time ago. You've hurt their feelings. And yeah, this is business, but people have feelings, and maybe you've been the kind of leader taking them on car ride A. Or maybe you need to, or maybe you have been the type of leader that has those leadership super goggles where you do see the way you see and the way other people see. And maybe you've either been doing this or maybe you can be doing this, taking people on road trip B, where it's very clear to them that as you go through this, you're able to communicate in a way that shows that the topics on your mind are also on the topic. They're able to interact with you at that level. Understand this, what Dale Carnegie says. When dealing with people, remember you're not dealing with creatures of logic, but you're dealing with creatures of emotion. You can go back to what I said as questions I asked. How would you feel? What would you do? All of that was pretty much emotional based. As human beings, we make our decisions 80% plus on an emotional level rather than on a logical level. When this came to me back in, 2004, this popped out of my mouth. It just occurred to me that leadership is best viewed through the eyes of the follower. It is the people who are on the other side of that leadership looking glass that are be able to define who you might be as a leader. Now think about this. When you were going through that card sorting exercise and you took it from your A stack down to your top 6 and you looked around and you discussed, did it really occur to you that yours were better than theirs or you were weighing them? Probably not. You were probably just intrigued or interested or this is kind of fun, something. You were at a place where you respected other people's values at the people around you. Or you didn't take it to a zone where mine are better than yours and we're doing it my way. Or did you feel that you could actually maybe reach across the table, pick their top 6, or maybe pick their top 3? Could you actually pick their top 2? Could someone actually define what your top 6 are, your top 3, your top 2, or anyone and do any of this? Well, the answer is no. It's individuals. It's very personalized. Now look, we've beaten you up enough here. Perhaps you understand that you understand what drives you. You understand what drives other people is differently than you. But we're going to be able to make this and round this out in a happy sense so that now when you look into the future and you look and you gaze into that leadership looking glass, you're going to be able to see exactly how to take people on car ride B to get the destination that you want to get to, have them enjoy the ride, and have them stick around to give you that kind of effort that you could never otherwise purchase. They're going to stick around at your company longer because they're going to like you, because an empathetic leader is one of the most powerful and most popular leaders. So get your top 6 cards, because we're passing out something called the Signature Showcase. Now, as a side note here, facilitators, please note that this is what the finished one looks like when you hand them out. You'll have already had their name at the top, your logo on it, their logo, but none of the cards will be there. It'll just be a vinyl showcase with 6 available spots. You say, okay, everyone take your showcase. And again, as a facilitator note, you probably need some help handing these out because you may not know everyone's name. Go ahead and load up your deck, or load up your cards into your showcase. And by the way, remember that blank card that you started with? Well, if you want to, you can put anything you want, like PGA golf, and you can put it in there if you want. Facilitator's note, do not mention this blank card until all 6 cards are put in here. Nowhere, anywhere do you mention this card. Otherwise, as they're sorting through, they'll have this lingering thing out there that'll just mess them up completely. So don't tell them about it until this point. You can walk over to Kimberly and say, guess what, class? And this is when you can start demonstrating, where you can kind of take over and provide the leadership. This may be the point where if you've got additional content coming after this, or here's where you make the transition, but you're able to say, hey, hold this up over Kimberly. Say, Kimberly, can I see your showcase, please? You say, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I know what the most important thing in the whole world is to Kimberly. It's right here. How do I know? Well, she told me. This is what I call the leadership cheat sheet. And if I want to lead Kimberly or anyone else at this table, I know this type of information. Guess what I've got? I've got that data. So that when I do take them on those car rides day after day after day after day, I know exactly what to cover and maybe what not to cover. Do we still have to get to the destination? Yes. Is Kimberly going to have to maybe set aside some of these in order to get some things done? Yes. But guess what? We have now got an open conversation. She knows about me, I know about her, and it's all a happy place for making great business decisions. Think about this. If you're the leader and you've got a team member of Lauren, Kimberly, Ken, Misha, Andre, and David, and you have this kind of data, let's just say put it on a spreadsheet, think of how much better you can lead people. It is often said that our people are our most important asset at our organization. Well, certainly they are. What if you had the most valuable thing at your company and you knew what was most valuable to them? And that is something that you could put into the mix to make your spreadsheet type decisions. This is how you can logically think about mushy stuff, like values and feelings and empathy. It's just another way to make decisions to get to the bottom line. This is where the value chain starts, of what is driving people, what is driving their decisions, what is driving their behaviors. And you could take it back to, Lauren, this is not providing balance for you. Let's talk about this. Because Lauren just gave you permission. When everyone goes through this type of exercise, let's just say the sandbox is raked clean. People are not sitting over in the corner on a pile that they shouldn't be sitting on. It's not a litter box. It's just a great place for leadership and teamwork to work the very best way it can. I suggest taking these showcases and putting them up in cubicles. They fit also into standard office frames, so you could put them on hard walls. You can also put these in lunch rooms or break rooms. Just put them up everywhere, so that in a common area, so that people can begin learning about other people in the organization. So rounding it out here, here's some images to help you reimagine your leadership. Understand that as a leader, you've got a team inside. There are those components. Understand that you may be walking around with those with those blinders on, and you need an eye exam to get you those better leadership super goggles. And again, facilitator note, there's much more eloquent ways of saying this in the facilitator guide. But essentially, this gives people some icons. Again, if some of those people had gone through some emotional things, this can kind of settle them down a little bit and say, okay, this was kind of visual, somewhat cartoony, but kind of ends that roller coaster ride on a smooth note. Okay, now for displaying your showcases, here's some benefits. You can remind yourself of what's most important to you. You can continue to strive for what's most important to you. You've telegraphed what's most important to other coworkers. You can teach people how to lead you or work with you the very best way. You can allow people to feel more comfortable around you. You can cut years off of relationship building at work. You can effectively offer ways to communicate with you to others. You can say, here are my top motivation buttons. Push them correctly and I'll be real happy. I'll work harder for you. or disrespect them, and guess what? I probably won't trust you. And by displaying them, it allows people to grow and change their top 6 values as their life situations and decisions change. For instance, I knew a 27-year-old woman who was not married, and fun was her top card, one of her top 6 values. Well, she got married, had a baby, and that fun card came out, and the parenting card went back in. So you can change these anytime you want, because participants, you get to keep this deck and have all the fun you want. In fact, when you display this to yourself, remember to keep this on the top of your mind so that you can begin to learn how to lead yourself. Let's say a person has the card integrity. It's one of their top 6. They hang up the phone after telling that little white lie, and then, maybe they either need to get rid of that integrity card or step it up on how to lead themselves. Now, if displaying your signature showcase has benefits to you, it also has benefits to others. And again, these, please note in the top right, this is another yellow star page, so you're going to get all of these in the webinar notes. Benefits to others are they're pre-warned of your values, your mindset, and your disposition. They're given a chance at fair play when dealing with you. Others can work with your values to design best practices. Others can begin dialogues with you to understand you better. They're given conversation or ice-breaking clues to help build the relationship. Others are given the opportunity for you to talk about your favorite subject. Others are given the opportunity to understand different ways of thinking. For instance, you get to talking about something of similar value, and they got different definitions. It just really kind of provides the opportunity to learn. Others can see your values in comparison to their own and to others' posted values. And others are kind of put on notice as how to best deal with you, and they really don't have any excuse for not trying. So again, back to that values chains where motivation and results are combined, getting that effort from the people. You simply go back to that, and again, look at the facilitator's guides for some elegant ways of clicking through this. But essentially, you get back to, again, what values are driving your results. Again, also in here, you can go back stories of that greatest leader that you ever knew in your front page. Apparently they were taking you on car ride B. You can tie in a whole bunch of things at this point as you're rounding it out. Again, for facilitators who are bringing in adjacent or additional content, it can be any other soft skills content you're dealing with. Teamwork, this is leadership focused. Diversity training, customer service training, sales training, anything you want. This is a great way to transition. If you're going to round it out here, you can do this recap. You can say, all right, we've been talking about how to get results through relationships. And here are the steps to recalibrate your leadership. First of all, understand yourself so you can better lead yourself. Understand others so that you've got that data, so that you do know what car ride B looks like before you take it. Now, when you get into this realm, you're going to have to be courageous and creative because you may not have been thinking about this way in the past. It is awfully eye-opening to take that self-vision examination, moving on to an entirely different perspective. And so certainly be courageous and be creative. Because when you do this, you're going to be able to grow your relationships so that you get exponential amount of teamwork, relationships, and effort out of the entire team. Your watch is going to be running very smoothly. You do all this, you and everyone, and certainly the bottom line, will reap the reward. Now, congratulations. Thank you. You've completed the Leadership PowerLabs. Now, for trainers, independent trainers, you can look to the bottom. This might be a place where you want to put up your website address and your telephone number. But continuing on here, and we're about done. Last page here is for any one of you in-house trainers or independent trainers. You're with this certificate training. You get 1 year. You also get the leadership PowerPoint presentation, the facilitator script, the participant handout, the signature showcase nameplate template for creating the signature showcase nameplates. You get the written values sorting exercise instructions. You get the PowerPoint portal. for collaboration, for tips, tricks, and sharing ideas. You do get volume discounts available for the recalibration kits. You get custom logo decks at 40% discount. When you purchase a minimum of 500, this makes it $15 per kit rather than the $25. You get free shipping on most orders, free phone consultation, and for a limited time, you get the $70 off coupon for first purchase of 12 or more recalibration kits. I am available. My name is Tom. My number is 770-490-5289. I am in Atlanta, Georgia. You can reach me there, or reach me at tomschulte@linkedtoleadership.com. Thanks again for attending the Recalibrate Certified Signature Training Program. Look forward to hearing from you.